skyline featuring iconic landmarks has become a familiar sight. Speaking of District 10 in Singapore, many of us would relate to prime residential homes, the belt of excellence block. How do you define luxury homes? What separates a luxury home from a high-end condominium in a prime district? Hi everyone, how are you doing? Hi everyone, how are you doing? I'm former Pearl Bank apartments behind me. The latest revelation of the draft Masterplan tree. Hello, good evening, everyone. How are you doing? Hope you're having an amazing day. Thank you once again for coming on time for our Singapore Property TV Fireside Chat. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is PK So from Huttons, and welcome to our Fireside Chat for today. Coming to you live simultaneously on my YouTube channel and Facebook page. All right. Wow, how time flies, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? I remember the very first fireside chat that I did. That was almost a month ago. I remember in Mandarin on the 17th of April. And you know what? Since then, there has been so many expert friends from Huttons, like Patricia Koh, if you guys remember, Colin Ng, Benedict Chu, Christopher Tay, Emily Tan last week, and of course today we have William Heng, who had selflessly spent time together with me to bring so much valuable insights, to everyone who has been watching our different episodes, featuring so many exciting and amazing projects and uncovering so much unique potential at each location. In fact, you know what, I did a quick count just now, and we have actually covered about 9 exciting projects already, including Midwood today. Okay, and of course, not forgetting so many of you friends and clients out there who are watching right now and who have been following every episode all these nights. Many of you have also followed my YouTube channel and shared some of these sessions. And well, by the way, if you have not done that, remember to click on the subscribe now button in YouTube so that you can be notified of new videos that I upload to YouTube. Okay. And of course, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you and thank every one of you for the very strong support that you have given for this Singapore Property.tv Fireside Chat. Despite the fact that, it all just started out as an attempt, a personal attempt actually to reach out to my clients in a more timely and open platform. And, thank you very much indeed for all your support all this while. And for buyers and sellers out there who just happen to chance upon this video on YouTube, please feel free to message me on my cell phone 96971131 or visit my website singaporepropertyprices.com.sg. It's definitely a way to get in touch with me. If you have any questions as well, please feel free to also contact me through cell phones, which is a better way of communication rather than posting comments on the YouTube channel, because every project itself is very unique. So we really need to understand your needs a little bit more in order to answer your questions satisfactorily. And if somehow you have been referred to this presentation by another Huttons agent, okay, please always revert back to your Huttons agent for more details. All right. Okay. Well, let me see. Some of you got some comments coming in. Yes. Hey, hi Peggy. Hi everyone. Hi friends. Hey Christopher. Okay, we've got quite a number of friends coming in. Thank you very much. Okay. Now, Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are in for a treat. Okay, not just because I have invited a very experienced veteran leader in the real estate industry. I was actually going through some of the slides with him a couple of nights back, and there's just so much information, very valuable information that's sharing with us tonight about Hillview. And it's so interesting that some of this information, I don't think many homeowners here are even aware of the pot of gold that they're sitting on right now. Okay, so make sure you stay till the end of this session to really learn something that will benefit you for years to come. Okay, so now speaking of the Upper Bukit Timah, the Hillview Enclave, it seems to me that it has sometimes been perceived as an area where only residents who stay around here, will be drawn to this location. To some people who stay further away, say in the east, this area may sound almost like a remote part of Singapore. All right, let me tell you guys, this is really a huge misconception. And it is about time that we take this opportunity today to do some justice to Hillview area. Okay, so do you know that it just takes about 15 minutes for you to reach Newton from Hillview, or just 25 minutes to reach Marina Bay from Hillview? Okay, do you know that more and more expats have made this area their homes because they find that the rent here is actually more affordable compared to the prime districts, especially when it is just 15 minutes ride, MRT ride to Newton. All right, do you know that many people, foreigners and locals alike, actually prefer the lifestyle here because it is so much closer to nature compared to many other places? And I'm not just referring to man-made parks and greenery. I'm talking about nature reserve, a botanical collection of more than a century. Okay, so in fact, there's just so much to talk about Hillview and Midwood that I have invited our veteran leader William Heng to share many little known secrets with us. Okay, so let me just introduce you about William. Okay, now William is the Executive Group District Director in Huttons. Okay, he has joined the real estate industry since 1997, and that is about 23 years in this industry. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not easy. Okay, he has been a project IC since 2007 with Huttons, specializing in District 21 and District 23, focusing on project management and sale. Okay, he's also leading a team of agents of more than 500 agents in Huttons. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let's join me together to welcome William Heng. Okay, let me just pull out some of this. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. So, yeah. Good. And a very good evening to all the audience tuning into this YouTube. Thanks for spending your time with us for this probably about an hour or so.
Yes, William. Thanks for taking your time here to be with
No
us
problem,
tonight
no
as well.
problem.
Okay, it is indeed a very thunderous welcome for you coming in. Okay.
Yeah, right.
So,
Sure.
all right. So I know William is a project IC for Midwood Condominium here in Hillview.
Yes.
And we are going through some of the slides two nights ago actually.
Yes.
You got tons of information.
Yeah, two sleepless night. Yeah.
Tons of
Yeah.
Tons of information, and you know what? I don't want to hold up the audience. I want to go straight into the subject matter of tonight. And then let's try to deliver as much value to the everyone who is tuning in tonight. Okay, question for you, William. Hillview area, as we all know, has been attracting strong interest in recent years. Yeah, and Midwood Condominium is, of course, very well positioned to take advantage of its strategic location at the Hillview Enclave. Okay, so could you share with us more about this project and, of course, the potential of the surroundings?
Definitely. I'll be honored to share with you all why Midwood is considered an uncovered gem in District 23. Maybe you can put up the slides now.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, so Midwood, where inspiration meets tranquility. So some disclaimer on my part, while Hattens and me has been consolidating all this data up to date, up to 14th of May, which is today, we are not responsible for any errors or omissions or any result obtained from the use, and of course, reliance placed on them. So of course, past performance may not be indicative of future performance. So I begin now. So some of you may ask, where exactly is Midwood located? Because this word itself sounds like woodlands, but it's actually not. Midwood is located somewhere in the vicinity of this Hillview Avenue, and is right smack next to the Singapore largest expanse of nature reserve, which you can see on the with my cursor. Maybe I change it to. Can you see my cursor? So this is actually the largest expanse of nature reserve that you can find in Singapore right now, because all the other area of Singapore has been deforested. So this remains the largest so-called nature reserve that you can find currently in this central part. For Midwood itself, we are located in District 23, as you can see from this map over here, and it sort of so-called like deviates away from the city bus life that I believe a lot of people may be preferring to stay in the city area or probably the CCR area. But for this District 23 is much more of a fresher air and kind of a lot of exercise regime that you can explore by staying around here. Because if you work in a city, you wouldn't want to live in a city. So probably for city dwellers who actually really work in city area, probably you might want to consider this place where it is more surrounded with vegetations, I would say. Okay, greeneries especially. Okay, this is some of the pictures how Midwood look like. We basically have two towers rising up majestically about 29-story high, two towers, block 8 as well as block 10. You can see that from this angle, the block 8 is actually facing the swimming pool, both on the ground floor as well as above the multi-story car park. This is another angle from block 10. You can see that the pool is quite an infinity pool. You can almost so-called see the surrounding area. And of course, this is how Midwood looks like in the day view. I would say this design is probably the highest level currently in Hillview Avenue. And in fact, two other projects that is just beside us do not achieve our height of 29-story. They only up to a maximum of 26-story, which is namely the Hillview as well as Kingsford Hillview Peak. And as for the rest of the Hillview Avenue condominiums, they are all maximum up to 10-story. So this is the only area where you'll find 29-story buildings for Midwood. Okay, let's take a look at how Midwood is located. As you can see from this map, Midwood is quite connected by all the major highways as well as all the roads leading to them. So it makes it convenient to, like for example, if let's say I were to travel from my own vehicle from here, I will go through this Hillview Avenue, turn left and then turn right towards this Dairy Farm Estate. I'll reach the BKE, which can lead me to go to the north or to the city area. Okay, but if I decided to go to maybe Jurong, Jurong Gateway District, I can actually travel down from south, leads to the Bukit Batok Avenue 4, 7 minutes drive to the PIE, and of course I can lead to the Jurong estate in probably about 8 to 9 minutes. So it's that connected to us. And of course, if I want to go to PIE and the other way around, going through this Bukit Batok East Avenue 6, I also can reach the PIE in less than 6 minutes. So in terms of connectivity, I would say we are there. We are not situated in a very ulu place. I would say that this place is in fact closer to nature as well as close to civilization, and of course a lot of makan places you can find around here, which I'll later explain to you all. Okay, on a micro kind of perspective, I would like to say that Midwood is situated just beside this project known as Hillview 2, or the Hllview itself, made by Far East organization, TOP in 2016. This is an integrated condominiums which has malls as well as F&Bs located on the lower floors, and of course the units for the residential start on the 7th floor. Of course, we are quite near, but we are not integrated. We are simply just residential components. We don't have any integrated feature to our condominium, but we can make use of the eateries as well as the malls that is located just beside us. Okay, in fact, they offer even complimentary bus services, which can prowl along these Bukit Batok coffee shops. Anytime that you wish to drink coffee, you can always take a free shuttle bus and then travel down this Hillview Avenue to any of the Bukit Batok area to have some good, just a coffee shop food or coffee shop kind of drink coffee or tea. So it's actually quite convenient in a sense. Okay, so as you can see from here, we are only about 350 meters thereabout distance to Hillview MRT, which happens to be the downtown line itself. And of course, traveling to makan place, like for example, the real mall itself, which has been there for quite a while, is only about 750 meters. So that will take you about 8 minutes walk. And of course, if you want to go into hiking or any activities regarding to outdoor activities, you can actually walk simply by another few hundred meters, which about 900 meters from Midwood, you can reach the outdoor adventure for the dairy farm as reserved outdoor adventure area in less than 10 minutes. So this is how convenient we are to all these places. And I would say it will be a good advantage for this vicinity to be experiencing so-called like exercise facilities, hiking facilities, cycling activities. So a lot of things can be done in this condominium. Okay, like I said, we are quite near to the Hillview MRT. Like in any condominiums, location plays a very important part to be near to MRT, due to reason not because you don't have a car, but due to the reason that maybe you are buying 1 bedrooms or 2 bedrooms for investment, and you need to rent out to people who probably don't have cars and they want it somewhere close to MRT so that they can walk to there instead of driving and reach city area in less than probably 30 minutes. So if you see from Hillview MRT to our location, which is Midwood, we are just about 3 minutes walk. Okay, 3.5 minutes, depends on how long you walk. Some condominiums are like 10 minutes, 12 minutes walk. And I can tell you, by the time you walk to the MRT, you'll be sweating like hell, and then your makeup will be all gone already. So for Midwood, we are only about 3 minutes, and it's just a brisk walk. And in fact, most of the distance is covered by a shelter. And you won't, even if during the rainy days, I believe you probably won't be carrying umbrella to go to the Hillview as much as the distance-wise itself. So upon reaching the MRT itself, you notice that this downtown line 2, in fact, this downtown line itself, in fact, is the longest MRT track in Singapore, and it literally connects to every part of the available MRT currently. For example, 5 stop, you will reach the Botanical Garden. That is actually the interchange for the Circle Line. 6 stop, you will actually reach Thomson Line, which is also an interchange. And the 7th stop, you reach the North-South Line. Okay, and 8th stop, which is the Little India, you will reach the North-East Line. So subsequently, after you go to the Bugis, you will also able to change to an East-West Line. So you can see the whole interchange, the 5 interchange are all along this route. And from our location, Hillview MRT, you can reach like I said just now, CBD area, the Marina Bay, you can reach it in less than 27 minutes. So it's such a convenient place to be in, even if you don't drive. So let me show you a part of history about this Midwood location. In the past, I believe some of you may know that 10, maybe about 15 years ago, where Midwood is right now, right, is formerly a HDB locality. If some of you are old enough to know that. And I can tell you that because this area is formerly under the history is actually a plantation, and they usually graze probably cows to extract those pasteurized milk. So generally, I would say the whole area, as you can see from this map 2010, which I've taken a photo of this map, you notice that most of the area are forested and untouched. So this region, if you go back 10 years ago, you will see that it's literally like kampong like that. However, much changes has been made to this place. In the year 2017, which is about 3 years ago, you notice that CDL bidded for the first land, which is actually known as the Tree House. And it moved on to go be sold out. And then, of course, TOP in 2014. Forest come out by Wing Tai 2015. Setia Group go for Ecocentric TOP in 2016. And of course, Hillview as well as Hillview Peak, which is by Far East and Kingsford itself, also TOP in 2016. So you notice that condos are coming in. Developers are buying the lands up to gain more so-called like more population to come into this area. And probably one of the latest one probably will be Skywoods, which also sold out by Tiong A already about a few years ago. It's also about 2017 TOP. And of course, 2018 More Botanic Residence launch, and the German International School is already up and running. And of course, Midwood before Dairy Farm residences come into the picture. So you can see that out of this whole piece of land, slowly but surely, you see that the lands are all being deforested. Like for example, you see this dairy farm area is being deforested, and they are literally being prepared land to be sold to potential private developers for more developments. If you look closely at another Google map that I show on this next slide, you notice that I amalgamate the master plan into this Google map itself. You notice that a few things. There are a few so-called schools. Those maps with the E are education institutes that may be coming to our location. Of course, the plan haven't shown us where is it a primary school or is it a secondary school? We do not know yet, but there's a chance that two schools will be quite close to us, and this will be probably within 1 kilometer distance of Midwood. Because currently, if you notice, Midwood currently don't have any primary school which is near to us within 1 kilometer, except for the girls' school, which is at the opposite side of Dairy Farm Estate. But with this potential site, which is E and this education institute, it may give us a chance that a primary school may be shifting towards our location and will benefit, of course, the subsequent residents that is living here. Okay, so if you look at the whole overall picture, you notice that there is quite a number of GLS land that is haven't even bring out to sell. And if you look at the Dairy Farm Estate area, of course, Dairy Farm Residences, the latest launch, which is launched last year, 2019 on November, there are about 9 GLS land that is still not being bidded. And if you look at the Hillview Rise area, you notice that there's still about 5 plot of land that is not yet bring out to bid. So in total, there are still about 14 decent sized GLS lands. There is about 300 to 500 units kind of size that is not even bring out to bid yet. Means one thing, because you see the whole bidded by developers, because developers like to bid around here. It will not be less than 7 developers bidding for any particular lands currently that you see over here. And I noticed that most of the lands are now bidded from since 2009 August to now is getting higher and higher. Of course, later I'll show you the chart. But what I'm trying to say is that what makes this place valuable then, if you ask me, I would say because of the GRS land that is still got 14 plots, right? It makes us having this advantage known as the first mover advantage. First mover advantage means that if I were to buy any condo that is around this locality first, a subsequent bidding of lands, which will of course be getting higher and higher, will prompt the developers to sell probably 99 years property at a figure that is higher than what is Midwood currently at. As everybody know, Midwood is probably bidded by Hong Leong at 1067 PSF or land cost, and this is actually probably the staging price of the first mover. That means in subsequent bidding may be even equal or higher than probably Midwood. Okay, but of course, if you notice around this area, most of the condominiums that is already being TOP, not to mention these two condos that I put over here, Hillview Peak as well as Hillview, the rest of the condo here, you notice, are all either 999 or freehold. We are one of the GLS land that is now available, but all are 99 years because they are government owned. How about this plot of land? This is another project known as the Dairy Farm Estate. And it's in this vicinity, it's actually one of the oldest. In fact, it's TOP in 1985. So if you look at this, this is a very good significance for us to study, is because recently, if you read the news, Dairy Farm actually joins $1 billion enbloc list with asking price of over 1.68 billion to sell the whole plot, which is about 750,000 square feet land size, to a developer. If you recall what developers has been bidding or enblocking any residential plot in Singapore, so far the record is the Farrer Court that is in 2007 by CapitaLand. And they bid at about 1.34 billion at that time, which is a record. So to have a asking price of over 1.68 billion is definitely going to set another record. But if you look at it closely, you notice that the land rate for the site is only about 1,001. So if 1,001 you can buy this piece of land, meaning to say if I add probably a $300 construction cost, probably add another 15% to the marketing cost as well as all the subsidiary engineering or architectural costs, probably I will reach about 1,007 to 1,008. Oh, sorry, 1,006 thereabout for my break even. And probably you will be selling close to 2K with this price for a freehold. Okay, but because it's not successful, let's look at what is the current selling rate of this Dairy Farm Estate. You notice that before 2013, most of the units transacted are all below 1,001 per square feet. That's why the owners are asking for 1,001. But ever since the enbloc is unsuccessful in 2018, you notice that the resale market is now going above 1,001. So you can see some of the units are even transacted, even the highest transaction is about 1,293. So I ask you this question. If I can sell in the resale market at 1,293, do you think I will enbloc again at 1,001? I can tell you it's almost impossible because the price has been set by a person like an owner already able to sell in the open market at 1,003. Why should he enbloc at 1,001? Correct? So in a sense, I would say that if I were to enbloc, if I'm one of the owner for Dairy Farm now, if maybe another 2-3 years down the road, another developer decided to enbloc my location, my Dairy Farm estate, I'll probably be asking for 1,004. And with 1,004, that kind of range for land cost, added with $300, added with the 15% kind of architectural, all the consultant costs, I would say the break even is almost close to 1,009. And that makes the developer profit margin to sell a minimum at 2,002 to 2,003 PSF for freehold. So with this kind of understanding, you realize that this location has the chance to go above 2001. Okay, it's only a matter of when. So when the next wave of enbloc come, what price do you think the resident of Dairy Farm Estate will be asking for? That's the main question that we have today. But of course, I give you some hint already. Probably 1,350 to 1,004 would be a good price to enbloc for Dairy Farm Estate residents, I'll say. So if you, besides looking at Dairy Farm, let's look at the surrounding 999 as well as freehold condominium that you find around there. Most of the condo are completed between 1995 to 2000. So potentially they are en bloc. Probably the Dairy Farm Estate already give us a clue on when is en bloc going to happen for most of them, or maybe some of them. If you look at Dairy Farm, it's about 35 years old. Currently, whatever condo that you find to the left side is all around 23 to 25 years. So there is potentially another about 10 to 12 years before this condo will be en bloc. So that will bring another level of this area. If developers were to en bloc, if some situation enables the site to be en bloc, it will bring the level of price around this area to a new height. I would say that. Okay, so this will give you a clue on what is going to happen, because not only is our land, our GRS land, a lot in this area, especially I mentioned it's 14. Imagine some other near condominiums with some plot of land throughout the years since 2007 till now. Like for example, Lakeside MRT itself in Jurong. The first mover advantage has all gained at least 80 to 90% of their own so-called prices. That means the price that they buy, they have increased by 80 to 90% already. So what more do you think that with 14 plots of land that is waiting to be bidded by private developers, how much can it grow up to? That's the question mark. Okay, so that's for us to think. So if you ask me how will Midwood perform in future, there's a hint. We can look at the nearest neighboring condos to see what kind of pricing they're asking during their launches. Okay, of course, namely we have two condos. One is the Hillview, and of course the other one is Kingsford Hillview. If you look at the Hillview projects, this is about 528 units. It's actually launched by Fireside organization in 2012 or 2011, I forget already. But if you look at the price, the bidded time, the estimated break-even price after adding all the consultancy is about 1136 PSF at that point in time when they bidded the land somewhere in 2011. So that will give us you based on the break-even price, right? You just need to either calculate based on selling price. Is it 10%? Is it 15% or 20%? So you just use, if you're going for 10% profit, you will just times 1.11 to the 1136, and you get probably about 1250 PSF. If you want a 15% profit, you probably will multiply by 1.15 on the 1136, you will get about 1306 PSF. So if you look at the price history of Hillview, you notice that these are the launch date. The contract date is basically the launch date, probably in January 2012. You notice that the prices they're selling, okay, this column over here, they are looking about giving a selling price of 10% or 15%. You notice that the price they are selling is close to probably around 10%. You see that? 10%? Okay, so that's the price that Hillview is looking at that point in time. But of course, that's on the lower floor. You notice on the left side, I did not put all the unit number because of course we need to have some privacy. We just want to show you the floor levels because Hillview start with 7th floor. And of course, the lower the floor, of course, obviously your price per square feet will be lower. But if you see the overall price at the time when they first start selling, they are selling quite close to 10% profit, I would say. Okay, of course, reserving the higher PSF or higher profit on the higher floor. Okay, if you see the profit mix of Hillview, which is last year, okay, when they sell the profits, you notice that most of the units are, in fact, you see the purchase price, right? Remember the break-even price the site showed at Hillview is about 1136, right? you notice that the purchase price is close to the break even. If you buy a condominium that is close to the break even price, very likely your sales price when you sell probably in 7 years later or 5 years later or 4 years later, you will be selling at a higher PSF. Because the minimum price to bid for the land is already 113. I mean, the break-even price is already 1136. How low can you sell, right? So if I purchase a price of a condo with close to the break-even price, I can tell you, I can almost guarantee you make money. Why? Because at the end of the day, these units are bought close to the near break-even price of Hillview, and they have very strong safety net for this range of prices. Okay, let's look at another condo which is also next to us. It's known as the Kingsford Hillview Peak. Kingsford Hillview Peak is actually bought by Kingsford developer. They bidded in fact lower. They have a break-even price of about 1095 PSF. And if I calculate based on the selling price, in fact, if based on 10%, they will be only need to sell about 1205. If based on 15%, they can sell at 1260, and if 20%, of course, they can sell at 1314. If you look at this column over here, the price that they sell during the 2013 period, the initial launch of this Hillview, you notice that the price are somewhat higher. So higher by how much? If you look to compare what on the left side, the yellow box there, which I put the percentage, how much do you think the developer is actually making a profit at the time? I would say you will see a lot of 1,003, 1,004, right? So meaning to say probably the developer is making even higher profit, 20 to 25%. So of course, this is subject to the market condition. But like I said, this region, when they first launch, right, there isn't much sales. Meaning to say the first day launch will not be as extreme as certain other projects. But slowly but surely, the project will sell out. Just like Hillview Peak. Now it's sold out already. And of course, Hillview definitely also sold out already. So you notice that although we are slow, but it's still sold out. But the advantage of being a slow sales product means what? Means that the developer has a chance to increase the price at a later date. And those who bought near to the launch day will enjoy the fruits that will be enjoyed later when developer increase the price overall. So this is how it works. So let's take a look at the profit make of Hillview Peak. You notice that some of the units, they are bought at the so-called this box over here. You notice that the box, actually they pay quite a high price, 1,003. Because even bought at a profit margin of developers, they can still sell higher and they can still make some profit from. Like for example, you can see this 81,000 for the first unit, 112,000. So these are bought in 2013 to 2005, and they are actually sold about 4 years or 5 years later. So, of course, in terms of annualized return, you can see that it's very good because it's probably about 2 to 2.5%. So that is a very good profit margin for an area like this. Okay, but I said, these units are also bought at close to break-even price or even within a reasonable profit margin of developers. If you bought something at probably about 40% profit margin of developers, I can guarantee you will make slower profits. But if you make close to break-even price, I think that is definitely a project that I'll go into. That's why it's very critical for buyers to know what is the break-even price and to determine that is it a fair price to buy for any particular project. Okay, so land cost is actually one of the most critical consideration of any buyers. Okay, so let's look at Midwood pricing now. As you know that Hong Leong bought this project for about 460 million. They are one of the, they are winner for the price bidding, but they also won more than that because doing this project requires more special build of this project. That's the reason why Midwood can be built in faster time than any condo elsewhere, because we are using the PPVC concept, the prefabricated so-called structure to build up. It's like a Lego. You can build the whole building up and TOP in probably less than 3 years. 2022 September is our target, but of course this is just a code. if you notice the Hillview rise, the break-even price is one of the highest. We are actually priced at 1598. Of course, this break-even price is due to the reason because partly the reason is due to the fact that because of the PPVZ is actually higher costs and developers have to build higher floors. So there is a certain amount of cost in order to break even. So if you look at it in terms of 10%, just like the past few projects, 10% profit you're making about 1758 and 15% you probably make about 1838. But Midwood is already launched last year, October. So let's look at the price of how much Midwood is actually selling. You notice that actually the Midwood price is not even close to this figure, which is 10%, 1758. You see, even normal floor, like low floor to mid floor, is not even close to 10%. So what does this tell you? It tells you a lot of story. First of all, the developer is definitely not making a lot of money. In fact, you notice a lot of units are selling even below break-even price. You can see 1567 here. You can see 1579 here. Just now, what's the break-even price for me? 1598. So a lot of units, especially on the lower floor unit, are selling at below cost. And how is the developer going to make money? Of course, the developer must make money. If not, how do they survive? Probably they will sell at a higher floor at a higher price. But of course, like I said, you don't need to buy high floor to make money. You just need to buy low floor at a break-even price to make more money. That's always my concept. So how much is developer selling at profit? The truth is actually only 3 to 5%. You see, if I can buy from a developer at 3 to 5% interest, and the money they earn is not even close to probably servicing their own staff, I can tell you they are probably making a loss. And if for developer to even make a loss, I tell you it's good news for us because definitely the so-called people like us, buyers, will be looking at this kind of so-called price range because the developer is not making any money. Okay. And I will show you how MRT actually affect the GLS price. Not to say that Hong Leong beat a high price, but because it's nature. When even before when Skywoods was bid by Tiong Ek in 2012, you notice that the price is about 616. At that point in time, we already know that downtown line is going to pass through there already. We already know. But still the price never rise. Is the price, when does it rise? The price rise only after TOP of the train station, which is 2015. So Midwood is actually bid on 2018. That's why you see the price is much, much higher. But humans are being humans. If you don't see the MRT, nobody will bid high price for that project one. So it's quite common. But of course, all these are past first movers. And if you look at the land cost itself, if you notice that since August 2009, which I mentioned, the price has been bidded slightly, slowly, but creeping up. And of course, the highest price achieved by Midwood is 1067. I can guarantee you, in the future, the price, because the government already know that the price can be sold at this figure, 1067 kind of land cost. Do you really think that the government will put their reserve price at lower than this figure? They will not be selling you at 600 anymore, For GLS lands is to make sure that the price is able to so-called make the whole region able to sustain at this price. So government definitely will put a reserve price for a bid as high as this price. So this is what I feel that the trend will go. So, but what makes Midwood stand out from the rest? If you look at take a closer look at the condominiums that is surrounding Hillview Avenue or probably Hume Avenue, you notice that, for example, some of the condos that you see there, Hillside, you notice that the buildings are all more or less close together. Okay, Hume Park 1, see, they are close because of probably the developers want to maximize the land usage. Hume Park 2, Symphony Heights, Hillington Green, and all these smaller projects, which you will notice that the condo are more cluttered. But Midwood is not as cluttered. In fact, if you look at the model, which I've taken a picture of the show flat, of course the show flat is now closed. If I've taken a show flat, and you see that the distance between the two towers there's a space of 120 meters. Well, that's really a huge space, considering from north to south, I see my neighbor is really very far. Okay, I probably need a better phone, like Huawei to see the other side. So if you have such a so-called space between two blocks, that means that this project literally in terms of surface area being used by the residential is really little only. The rest of the area is actually littered with common facility, which is good news for the buyers, because if I can build two towers at a minimum space required to stand in this land itself, which the land is of course about 154,000 square feet, I can maximize the whole area, make sure that the children-friendly area, because the car parks are all in the multi-story car park. Even from the road leading in from Hillview side itself, right? You go down, there is a underground passageway to goes to the car park. So it makes sure that the communal area is all free of cars. So children will be able to play with ease, and mothers and fathers will not have to worry about their kids being in the danger zone, I would say. Okay. So if you look at the view, as you know, Midwood, we only have these two towers, and they are all facing the same direction, either south or north. But of course, facing the north, there will be some limited views because of the MINDEF that is actually in front of us. But for south, there's literally no blockage. Okay, as I can show you a few views. The views, like for example, you can see Kingsford, Hillview Peak is actually about 11-story high. So with the tennis court on top, you probably need to buy Midwood at 14th floor and above in order to clear this view. So you can look into the gardens of MINDEF. Then, of course, towards the south, you notice that, of course, like I said, the whole plot of lands here are all GLS land. And, of course, views may be limited in future if the development starts. But, of course, at its current moment, you notice that all the buildings are, in fact, lower than us. In fact, this is taken on the 29th story. And I can tell you that the condominiums in front of us are all less than 10 story, 10 or below, okay? Because there's a height limit in this area that they can only build up to 10 story. Okay, then of course to the right side will be the landed properties that you can see over here. And of course there will be some views that you see on a hill, which is the Bukit Batok Town Park. So the view can be quite nice for the initial part. So after saying all this, can Midwood really be a source for investment where the value eventually go up? If I look at it from a District 23 point of view, there are future plans. In Jurong Gateway, you can see that there's a plan for CBD. In the District 5, you can see there's a plan for this so-called the rejuvenation of the so-called the waterfront city. So for 23 itself, a lot of people say, hey, no plan. But there is plan though. And the plan is actually found in this draft master plan, which is the Tengah new town that is found in District 23 near to Bukit Batok, that side. If you notice that this is actually an area view of how it's going to look like in the future, combined with the Jurong Innovation District, because Jurong Innovation District happens to be found near to this Tengah new town, is estimated to provide about 42,000 new homes in the future. And out of these, about 30,000 units will be for public housing, meaning HDB. And of course, 12,000 will be for public housing. Imagine 12,000 units used for public housing. It means what? It means that if you take away the chances that probably each project will be about 500 units big, because as you know, condo nowadays, we tend to build bigger and bigger. In fact, 1,000 units, because we need to maximize whatever plot of lands that we have. We cannot allow so-called smaller plot of land to be built for condominium, because it will not be efficient use of our land. So if you talk about 500 units per project, that will provide you with 24 projects coming up in this locality. And of course, in terms of if you think that how is the rental going to fetch in the future, of course JID will support the transformation of this landscape itself. And of course, the development of Tengah is actually guided by these 6 key ideas. Critically, I would like to say that we are creating an evergreen forest now. So this may be the only town that you see is full of greens and full of walking and cycling instead of car, because it will be a car-like kind of communities, enabling closer-knit communities. Of course, now it's COVID, you don't need to be so close, but creating a smart and sustainable town, meaning to say it is able to provide probably lesser fee for electricity and sort of things. So there will be a lot of firsts, of course, in this area. In fact, if you notice, the name itself because it will be a car-like kind of township, and they are designed with 5 new housing districts, like for example, Plantation District, all the names, Garden District, Park District, Brickland District, as well as Forest Hill District. They are designed with the community and nature in mind, so that residents can experience quality living with nature and greenery at their doorstep. So of course, the first to start will be the Plantation District. From here, and then subsequently expanded to the rest, and JID is just behind Tengah New Town. Okay, Tengah New Town is actually going to be new, of course. It's just like Sengkang and Punggol in the 1998, that time when HDB decided to develop that area. The prices, of course, initially will be low, but it will be low compared to the market price as now. But as you can see from Sengkang and Punggol, the price of HDB, the price of private condominiums there already rise to a figure that is so-called to the market. So HDB is also going to make Tengah New Town, and you don't find any new town anywhere in Singapore right now. And Tengah, of course, that one is the Bidadari, is the last one that is now currently building also. You notice that the Bidadari itself, like for example, the Wulay resident already reached 2,000 PSF. So you can imagine that Tengah New Town will bring another scope of rejuvenation as well as life into this area. It's just like a ripple effect. So how close is Tengah New Town to Midwood? If you notice, I superimposed this draft plan into this so-called Google Map. You notice that we are only about 2 kilometers apart. And there will be ripple effects, because it's just like you throw a stone into the river, and the river will actually have ripples. It will affect things that are close to them. So Midwood is quite close in terms of 2 kilometers apart. I mean, 2 kilometers distant to this Tengah New Town. And I can assure you, this rejuvenation of this area, or rather the bidding of this area, will affect Midwood prices in the long term. Okay, so of course, that's our value, and of course, for buyers, right, what kind of layouts we have in Midwood is also very important. So let me share with you some of the layouts plan that we have. We have basically 1 bedroom to 4 bedrooms, and our layout are quite good in a sense. You can see that we have this site plan. You can notice that we have 1 bedrooms that is naturally facing towards the south as well as north. Similarly, it's like a mirror image. This tower is like a mirror image. So you literally see all the 1 bedrooms have either north or south facing, and the 2 bedrooms are all generally south facing. North facing here. We also have a 2 bedroom with 1 toilet. Those who want to buy to rent out the 2 bedroom probably will be a good choice, because the quantum is lower. You can consider to buy this 635 square feet unit 10 or unit 20, 2 bedrooms that is facing outwards. And of course, there are 2 plus study, 3 bedrooms, as well as 4 bedroom, which is the biggest that we have right now. So the 4 bedrooms is generally facing towards either north or towards south, and they are all of a decent size, about 1259 square feet, 1248 square feet. So this is the size of the 4 bedroom. And you notice that we have 2 pools that is all 50 meters in length, so you can swim to your heart content. Okay, but of course now cannot swim. Okay, so 1 bedroom, what is our sizes? Our sizes is quite not that small, but we are of reasonable size. We can see that it's quite linear and squarish. We have a kitchen that is linear. The living and dining, quite a big space, 3 meters apart. It's a good distance from the sofa to the TV that you're going to install. Of course, the master room you can even install a king size bed easily, with all the windows here, plus balconies. You can see that all the sides are linear. Of course, 2 bedrooms. We have a design which is of sorry. Okay, we have 2 bedrooms with size of 689 square feet. a dumbbell layout, so no wastage of space because there's no corridor. So you were able to so-called like enjoy the space given by this project. In fact, our kitchen, although it's open concept, but you can always so-called install glass panel to make it closed conventional. So the flexibility is always there. 3 bedrooms, we have 2 types. We have either the bigger size, which is 990 square feet. It comes with a yard area as well as utility you see over here. If you buy a 3 bedroom that is a smaller size with 904 square feet, you will not see this yard and the utility. So that's the main difference between, but the layout is the same, exactly the same. Okay, then of course the largest one, the 4 bedroom, which I have to stress out, this is one of the best design I can see in most of the condo. The bedrooms itself, the 4 bedrooms are all attached, comes with attached toilet. So how many is like, you live in the landed, all the rooms are attached toilet, but now you are living in the condominiums, and all the 4 bedrooms in fact are somewhat all attached toilets, so you have the privacy of your own using the toilets. So this is our layouts. And so if you ask me the price or how developer price new unit, frankly, if you look at the whole MRT system itself, you notice that Midwood happens to be in DP3, and we are not close to the city, as in the sense that the closer you are to the city, obviously the price is going to be higher. So you can see that from Pullman residences that is in Newton itself, they are probably selling at an average of 2850 per square feet, all the way to Kismis at Beauty World, you can see is about 1670. However, Midwood, if you really look at the pricing, you notice that most of the pricing fall in the range of below 1006. And if you can select units based on that, I can almost be sure that because of our distant walk to the MRT compared to the rest of the projects, I can say this price is definitely a bargain price. And of course, Midwood, like I told you, there is some changes going to be going on. So developer is currently submitting some changes in plans to make Midwood more attractive. Why do I say that? Because currently, as you see Midwood in my initial slides, you notice that the balcony have this sort of screens that is actually over in the balcony. Most of it, developers are going to remove it. Probably for south-facing unit, currently our starting minimum floor is 7th floor have balcony screen, but we maybe remove it all the way up to the high floor. So with that changes, probably the developer might increase the price. So in fact, now is the best time to make use of this COVID period to buy at a low price and take a ride with the rise of this Midwood estate. Okay, so of course, our Midwood pricing guide, as you can see from here, our minimum price now is 746K for 1 bedroom. And the rental here, I would say, will be able to fetch about 290 to about 490 per square feet, depending on what kind of facing you are. And I can tell you that for this price range, right, you notice that we do have star buys unit, and our star buys are almost like a steal buy. Why? Because the prices are all same. Meaning to say, if you look at the stack 6, whether you buy 6th floor or 7th floor, the developer is selling you at 775K. And whether you're buying the 1905, 2005, which is a 2 bedroom, or 2305, is all selling the same price. And you see the comparison that I did on the site. In fact, the 21st floor is 1.229 million compared to this. It's actually 23,000 higher than 23rd floor. So if you can buy at this price, why buy 2105? So you see the star buy itself give you opportunity to buy even lower price compared to the usual price that is set by the developer. For example, you can see more of these prices like 2204, you can see 1.374 million for 2 plus study, but for all these 18th floor, 19th floor, which is good numbers, they are not bad numbers, and they are actually selling at lower price than 22nd floor. So that makes choosing unit quite easy, because the developers the buyers don't need to consider, just select which floor you buy. Obviously, I can tell you all will buy the higher floor first. That's why you see my star buy price, right? All the higher floor taken up first. So don't be the last to choose the 19th floor, when you're able to buy the 23rd floor now. Okay, so of course, seriously, if you ask me in terms of quantum wise, units below 750K are only left with last three. Opportune time, don't waste it. The low-lying fruits are going to be gone. Okay, there are still about 25 units that is below 799K, that means below 800K. If you don't make use of this CV time to buy these units, I can tell you by the time next month when developer declare that the fins are gone, the balcony screen are so-called approved to remove, I can tell you most of these units will be gone. But now it's still available. So why wait to buy? So that's about my presentation. So if you have any question, do talk to our Hutton's consultant. They will be able to provide you with more detailed so-called pricing and of course availability in our projects currently. So thank you, PK.
Awesome, William, for sharing. In fact, while we were speaking, and in fact, through the past conversation that we had discussing about Midwood, I've actually taken down some notes today. So I thought, after this 1 hour of, even actually quite on time, 9:30, all right, exactly 1 hour. Okay, awesome. So I think there's tons of values that the audience has actually been receiving. If you have been listening from the start till now, you'll receive that, hey, wow, this Hillview area is actually full of potential. Right, it's very different from some misconceptions that some people might have. I've heard before, is it somewhere in Lim Chu Kang? No, it's not. Okay, it is very, very near to our downtown line, which is very convenient. So I'd like to summarize this so that we can go back and recollect some of the facts that we just mentioned to us. Okay, first we mentioned about potential. All right, potential we basically can categorize into three main categories. First is in terms of pricing. So what we did just now was you have actually meticulously, shown us, where are the plots, the GLS plots, the potential plots that are possibly available for bidding down the road. Okay.
Yes.
And we also studied the changes, the trends in pricing in terms of the land sales over the past few years as well, and how Midwood possibly could set another benchmark for future prices of land sales going forward. Okay, then what we have also done is we have taken not just at we have taken a look not just at Hillview, but also at Dairy Farm area, as well as along Petir Road towards Bukit Panjang, that side as well, because there are a lot of plots of lands over there. That one is closer to Bukit Panjang already, the public housings over there.
Correct.
So at the same time, what we did was, yes, we studied the pricing, whether or not we are looking at development that is selling at close to developers' break-even price.
Yes, exactly.
How large is the profit margin? Okay, how much room do we have when we want to sell it next time? What is our exit strategy? What's the pricing that we can go for when we want to exit from this investment? All right, so that is critical, and I think William has illustrated very well through some of the comparison and draws us to these fundamentals actually. Okay, then so we talk about pricing, then we talk about location as well. All right, location, of course, we all know downtown line. That is a very important line for many people along this Upper Bukit Timah and Bukit Timah stretch. Right, it really spans a long stretch right here. And from what I know, I take this line very often, especially when I want to go to Marina Bay. Okay, very, very convenient. Because my station is actually at Cashew, very nearby, so I know this line very well. Okay, so from Hillview to Newton, it just takes you 15 minutes. All right, can you imagine that 15 minutes? For some of us, we're staying in Prime District. Sometimes when you walk to the MRT, it may not be even that close, 15 minutes walking distance. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. So I can reach Newton by then. Then what else? Location, we are talking about a very unique geographical location where it is very near to the nature. Right, and by nature we are referring to nature reserve. It is really primary forest where people who likes nature, they can just go out there and have their adventure trails and mountain bike trails. It's not just another man-made greenery of parks right there in front of us. So that makes it very, very unique, very suitable for people who just want to get away from the hustle and bustle of city life, because every day they are spending time in their office buildings. They just want to get away from the city feel and coming close to the greenery, the fresher air around us. Okay, so this makes it very attractive Hillview area. Plus, of course, that means the lifestyle as well. We also talk about ripple effects that you just mentioned just now, very important. And for that, you actually mentioned about Tengah new town that is coming up in the master plan. Okay, that has a ripple effect because we're just about 2 kilometers away from that new town. All right. Then, of course, something that I would also like to highlight to our audience as well is we are just about 1 station away to Beauty World. Okay, and we know that Beauty World area is just undergoing tremendous transformation right now. So for those of us who have been through that area, we see lots of infrastructure development that's going on, a lot of road works going on. Some people don't know what's going on right there. Okay, but actually that area is going to be a transport hub. Okay, and it's also going to be a community hub as well. So it's going to be a congregation of activities, transportation, and that could be potentially cross Island 9 running through that area also. Okay, even though it's not announced yet, but it's very high potential that could happen. Okay, so you can see that this whole area, from Beauty World all the way to Hillview area, there's just so much activities going on. So that ripple effects are just coming from 2 waves, one from Tengah area, the other one coming from that Beauty World area as well. So we are just right in the middle of these 2 waves coming together. All right, so that's ripple effects, and of course, we talk so much about potential, what's coming up, but what about now? All right, what if I want to shift in now and in this area? Well, you are in a very good location. Why? Because you're just about 2 stops away from Hillview Mall. Okay, so for those of us who wants to go into a mall and get some shopping done, of course you have Hillview 2 is just right beside us. All right, but if you want to go for NTUC and lots more stuff that's going on, you can just take the train downtown line, 2 stops, you reach Bukit Panjang, and there's just whole lots of stuff over there at Hillview Mall. Okay, restaurants, groceries, everything is right there. Then we have Hillview 2, and of course, we are also 1 stop away, as I mentioned just now, from Beauty World. So lots of amenities around. You'll never run short of amenities around this area. Okay, so I think I've kind of summarized the essentials. The
essence it's a very good summary, I think.
Yeah, the essence of this whole thing. So
yeah, correct. I should have asked you to talk about this.
Yeah, I think you've done an amazing presentation. I really appreciate it. So this shows that experience counts, because with your 23 years of experience, you can just relate to us so much deeper with whatever that's going on the ground level. All right. Plus, of course, all the past transactions and everything, you got all your experience with us. Really appreciate your time, William, for taking time to share with us so many.
It's my honor and my privilege.
It's my honor. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's always good, in our Huttons family, that we all help one another. And of course,
Yes,
I believe there are many Huttons agents tuning in right now. And of course, by any chance, ladies and gentlemen, if you are a consumer who has been somehow referred by another Huttons agent to watch this presentation, please go back to your Huttons agent and ask them for details. All right. But if anyway, by somehow, you are able to transfer my videos on YouTube or my website, please feel free to contact me at 9697-1131 or visit my website, singaporeproperty.tv or singaporepropertyprices.com.sg for more details. Please feel free to get in touch with me. WhatsApp me on my number, 9697-1131, because that provides an easier channel of communication rather than just putting questions on the comments box, because sometimes it's always good to know more about your needs in order for me to give you a more appropriate reply. Okay, so with that, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you everyone who has been tuning in. All right, so we shall end this presentation, William, with a fly-through video of Midwood. Okay,
sure.
So that people can feel the project itself. So with that, thank you once again, William, and thank you everyone. Stay safe and good night. Bye-bye.